see. Oh, it don't sit there on its own. I'm gonna try one more trick. No, that's not it. Let's sit there. No. Try with two pens. I am so wasting time right now. Alright, welcome back YouTube. It is 4:09 p.m. and I am in a Kia Soul. And it took a little trickery to get the phone to sit where it shoots half of my face. So looks like we got HD radio in here. We also got the fan up higher that I'm cool with. Apparently that rushing wind noise doesn't bother neurotypical people the way it bothers me. Boy, it's just like, it's just one of those sounds that just permeates everything else. It makes it hard for me to even think and concentrate when it's present. This Kia, like many Kias, have HD radio. I'm going to try to take advantage of that. And that's where the phone was sitting. The phone does not ride good to shoot video of myself in these. It just doesn't. I'm trying to get to 94.5. I'm already up the ramp now. Oh, that's not what I want. At least I don't have anybody following me wondering why I'm going so slow. Got it! 94.5 FM HD2. It can be difficult and awkward to tune. It's easier to tune in on these Kias than it is in most vehicles, but it still took me a while to get it. Of course, I'm now almost to my destination. But KWSS on HD radio sounds so good. And I enjoy whatever little bit of it I can. And note to self, don't try to do this in a Kia Soul anymore, because I just don't want to stay up at that angle. This one only has 20,000 miles, so that meets the criteria for PC, so I'm going to put it next to another small SUV. I seem to be the only driver here who does this, but I try to group similar cars with each other just to kind of make it easier for the people that are renting them, picking them out. Yeah, I've got it's like a Nissan Rogue on my right. I'm not sure what that is on my left, but it's some other kind of, not exactly a small SUV, but it's not one of the giant killing machines either. Oh, alright, I'm in place. Do I have a paper ticket here? Yes, I do. Well, it depends on if you're worried about gas mileage or if you just need a lot of space. Because you would definitely get better mileage in the Honda Passport. And
it's easy to drive.
Yeah, Honda Passports drive like a dream.
I think I can pack a lot of stuff because I can see the back seat.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going cross country, that thing's a gas guzzler.
Okay.
Thank you. Always love to help customers when I can. So, what I was mostly wanting to say is it's 4:13 p.m. now, And I don't know, maybe 10 minutes ago or so, I saw the man that I often refer to as the Angry Elf coming in for the start of his shift. So I never really knew what time he started. So I guess his scheduled start time is 4 o'clock. And since Keontae left, I've been focusing on electric vehicles, particularly electric vehicles downstairs that have been moved downstairs, getting them on the chargers downstairs. Because I noticed yesterday nobody put them on there. And I only had 2 more to go, but he always seems really irritated. He becomes an extra angry elf when he sees that I'm doing the electric. I guess he feels I'm stepping on his turf or whatever. That seems to be it. Or maybe he doesn't like the way I do it. Everybody else seems to love the way I do it. Anyway, I got my slip for this car. I'll walk out and look what stall it's in. So, see it down there? 615. So, now I don't think it's necessary that the PC vehicles get put into the machine, but I try to do it just that way. There's a record of what cars are where in case somebody's asking for something specific. Although I highly doubt anybody specifically asks for the Kia Soul, but hey, stranger things have happened, right? All right, got that keyed into the stall. Kia. That was super awkward. I started talking to myself loud enough to project it into the phone, and I realized that Emmanuel the Frog was approaching me. Just walking the chargers in the Ultimate Bank. Basically what I'm looking for is that. Just want to make sure every car that is connected to a charger has that going on and not a red light or a blue light. If it's a red light, that indicates that something has gone wrong with the charging cycle. And if it's blue light, that means that it's done. Also, I'm looking for steady green lights. If there's a steady green light, then I'm checking to see, hey, is there a car next to it it should be plugged into? Because that means it's just simply not plugged in. All right, heading over to the Dollar Thrifty return area, which is that stuff over there. That one vehicle that's kind of sitting by itself looks like a maintenance vehicle. It's even got a hat on it. So, let's see what's up with that. It's a 6-hole telemetry, and it's missing its key. Oh, and that's one that you can't flip the. It's one that I can't flip the wiper blade up on, but it's already got a key hat on it. So that ain't going nowhere. Wow, I see another MLS driver headed for the stairs. I was beginning to think I was the only one who ever took the stairs down. So that's become one of my favorite cars in the area. I don't know if you all saw it, the white Bolt there behind me. It's got hail damage, and it says that they're out getting an estimate for the hail damage. Apparently that's beyond the skills of our body shop. It has become the Hertz Management Shuttle Mobile, like the designated Hertz Management Shuttle Mobile. And it actually serves that purpose really well. It's not using any gas. Bolts are super efficient on their use of electricity, and due to the hail damage, it's not up to Hertz standards for a rental car. So I don't know if they're really getting an estimate for the hail damage, or if that car has just become attached to its role of being a Hertz employee shuttle. But yeah, the first time I saw it, I went to move it down to body damage, and it was locked up, and then I mentioned it to somebody else. They're like, oh yeah, there's a manager using that as their ride. And I feel like that was 2 weeks ago. And I just saw a manager using it as their ride. So, got 2 vehicles down here. Most likely these are ones that people are just stuck down here. Yeah. So I've been wondering what this lot is on the other side of the fence here behind me. And I've come to the conclusion that that's the employee parking lot for the, nobody's told me this, just kind of my own observing. It appears to be the employee parking lot for this car wash down here, which is the Dollar Car Wash, which been following my vlog long enough, I had a job interview to work there, and it was the day of that job interview when I felt that job interview had not gone so well that I went back to the MLS office and ended up getting this job here. Oh, there's a girl that works in this car wash that I think is super hot. She's wiping down a vehicle right in front of me right now. There's a Chevy Bolt here. Oh, they left the air on for me. Very nice. Very nice indeed. She's got her afro puff up in a bun today. That looks nice. Every time I say hi to her, she hardly acknowledges me, so that's a little disappointing. Air feeling good in this car right now. Radio says Funky Cold Medina. That's not playing the song. I'm thinking that was the name of a another really attractive Hertz employee walking behind me. She got super long braids. I don't know where she's going though. It's odd to see her down here. Yeah, I think Funky Cold Medina was the name of somebody's smartphone that was connected to this car. XM brings up XM preview. That's no good. 1011 not coming in very good. How about we directly tune it to 92.3?
It's very chaotic at the White House. Well, maybe he doesn't need to be at the White House.
Commander's a very busy dog.
Send him back to the home in Delaware. That's
maybe.
right. Yeah.
Commander's a very busy dog.
Without looking, the only way on a Chevy Bolt to see your battery percentage is to go into the advanced charging settings. But I can look at it and see that it shows 147 mile range and know that it needs charging. So it's headed over here. The Dollar Thrifty Chargers.
There's no doubt, man.
Your neighbor's dog bit you 11 times. Oh, I don't think
There's a spot right over here that I only like to put bolts in because
I don't know,
due to
man.
some poles and other stuff, it's really the only car that fits here correctly.
He's a Secret Service. They're protecting you.
All right, so
What if
charging. Yep, there it is. It's at 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. It's at 60%. I'm going to set the limit at 90%. Go plug that thing in. I know other people will probably find this job painfully boring, but I absolutely enjoy this. All right, there's one of them blinking red lights I was talking about, so I got to deal with that one. This one here, got the steady right, it's ready to go. I don't know who it is over here at Dollar Thrifty that coils these cords up so tightly like that, but I guess they didn't get the memo. That's not good for any electrical cords. And I got caught in a bolt over there. Whoops. As opposed to plugging it into a bolt. But that car is a bolt. And that thing down there, that's a bolt. I wanted to make a video showing my nuts and bolts. And you know, there's my bolts. And you don't want to see my nuts. All right, let's see. Yeah, it's got the green scrolling. So at this point, I pop back in the car. I wonder why the that the rear left window is down. The car's already shut off, so I'm not going to mess with it. Which is weird. I didn't shut it off. I guess it just timed out. So it's saying charge complete by 2:30 a.m. Thursday. So this one ain't going anywhere. All right. The next car over that's got the red light is this here Kia EV6. The Kias sometimes do that. These chargers, especially in the daytime. I'm not really sure why that is. I think they're actually Tesla branded chargers, and I think sometimes the Kia just tries to draw too much current from them. I could be completely wrong on that. I don't know exactly the details of why it does it. I just know what to do when it does do it. And let's move it to another charger. Actually, if I can do that without moving the car, it's usually preferable. And we've got one here that's not plugged in. So even though it's a stall over, it'll reach over to the charging port without a problem. Dang, it's the second time I got caught on the bolt down there. Plug it in. Over the charger and wait for that blue light to start scrolling green. Sometimes it takes a bit. There we go. We're scrolling green. The Kia EV6 said something. Usually I'm so far away I can't understand what it's saying. It just sounds like it's mumbling to me. But at this point I've done some effort to the car, so I may as well turn it on and see that its EV battery charging settings are correct. So go into that. I don't know if y'all can see the screen. I'm so terrible at doing this. I want to get me some, okay, it's at 74%. That's pretty good. And yep, those are both set. DC charger and AC charger set at 90%. That's where these ones go. So let's take it back there. Shut it off. And in the dash, it'll show the remaining time. It's at 74%. It's estimating 5 hours and 30 minutes to get to 90%. So 90% is optimal for these batteries to prolong the battery life. So at this point, I'm just walking down the other chargers to make sure that they're scrolling green. Scrolling green. When the sun's shining on it this brightly, it's kind of hard to see it. Kind of hard to see what they say. Yeah, scrolling green. I've just got to put my body in front of it to block the sun so I can see the LEDs. Got one bolt over on this charger. Whoa. Oh. This drives me nuts. So as you can see, that's the one that's charging, but then it's got the cord for the adjacent charger sitting on it. Yeah, that shit just drives me nuts. I just can't even hang with that, so I'm gonna hang, instead of coiling it up the way somebody over here at Dollar likes to overly coil, I'm gonna hang them up properly. That's probably some terrible video footage, but first and foremost, I gotta be doing my job here. But the way I do them, and as far as I can tell, the way they're designed to be done, wow, see, there's all kinds of kinks in the cable, and that's just bad for electric cables from the tightening, doing it so tightly. But there's obviously a space right there for it to hold the cord. But with the length of the cord, basically I go over it, up once, over it, up once, and then into the side. And it's got a locking mechanism on it right there. All right, so that's good to go. I got the one charger put up correctly and the other one's working. This one's at least kind of put up correctly. And we've got a blue light. Well, that was super awkward. While I was checking this bolt and I noticed it had a blue light, and talking to myself and shooting a video, I noticed that the van full of up-down drivers stopped and were looking at me. So not sure what's up with that. Okay, it was set at 90%. It's up to 90%. So this one, interestingly enough, has one of the Hertz slips, which means that it was washed at the Hertz car wash as opposed to the Dollar Thrifty car wash. So that to me is a sign to take it back to Hertz. It's got 23,000 miles on it. That's under 25. This can be PC, so I think that's where I'm going with it.
So if you've been alive on the internet, you definitely heard someone say to you, "Don't drink the Kool-Aid." They're referencing Jim Jones, who was a cult leader that ended up poisoning like 900 of his followers.
Oh yeah, Wacko Waco.
Jonestown Massacre, completely terrifying. Something else I just found out about Jim Jones today? Because Indiana is always so much weirder than expected. One of his jobs before he became a cult leader in California was that he was a door-to-door pet monkey salesman in Indiana. Indiana let people sell monkeys door-to-door. Indiana is so strange.
What an odd thing to buy from a door-to-door salesman. That would just be completely sus to me if I saw that happening. I did notice the people in the van when they stopped were laughing. I hope to God they weren't laughing at me, but I figured there's a good chance they were. Okay, this is awkward. Trying to figure out where in PC I want to put this. I usually try to put the electric cars farther away in the President's Choice section, because I've noticed most people that are President's Choice customers do not want an electric. So they're the ones that want an electric are the kind that are willing to do a little extra and walk a little farther. So seems to make sense to me. All right, let's shut this bad boy down. So 90% says 189 miles. Yeah, this one does not. The Bolt doesn't have the range of some of the more expensive EVs, but still 189 miles. Considering the average person who rents a car is going to just use it for driving around downtown and nearby hotels and stuff for one night, it's very adequate for that. It sure beats buying gas with gas around $5 a gallon. So I just walked away from that Bolt. It's right there behind me. I don't know if you can see it. You see it? There it is. And notice I left the gas hole, or the juice hole, uncovered. So I closed that, and I'm just on my way to the machine to key it in. And look at this charger. Oh yeah, we're covered in bird shit here. The video, I can't quite angle it, but there's a lot of bird shit on this car. Yeah. At some point, a Hertz manager will come and pop the trunk on it and leave a note on the side for somebody to take it down. But as long as I've seen it, I can take this down. The Hertz car wash. And this will give me a ride to one of the machines. So it's a win-win here. Oh, charger came up blasting me with air. I don't like that. But it also greeted me with Lenny Kravitz. I love this song. This is not one I hear very often. Never see you again. Oh man, it is still hot out today. So hot out today. 4:50 p.m. right now, almost 5 o'clock. The thermometer on this Ford that I'm in, I'm not entirely sure what kind of Ford it is. Some kind of small SUV, crossover type thing. It says 102 degrees. It feels hotter than that out though. So I did hear on the radio, KTAR, maybe about 30, 40 minutes ago, that they're saying that today is the hottest day that we should have until next spring. That's what weather experts are saying. So I'm hoping they're right. I've about had enough of heat for this year. So I had an awkward moment with the guy. I don't know his name. He speaks very poor English. I generally refer to him as towelhead, and that's not a racist slur. I've heard that used as a racist slur. I'm just saying it for the same reason that people refer to me as the guy with the hat. He always is wearing a towel on his head. Not a turban, mind you, but a towel. One of the car wash towels. He gets it wet and he hangs it over his head and his neck. And he's got a little headband that he puts on to keep it in place. And, you know, if that makes him comfortable, more power to him. I'm not slighting him for that at all. It's just the easiest way to identify him in a way that other people know who I'm talking about. Anyway, he had trunks popped in the electric car area and said that the ones that were popped trunk needed to go over to the dirty line. And they were ones that I had just put over on chargers fairly recently. There was one that was a Polestar. I put it in at 77%. It was up to 78%. I've seen Hertz people put cars out for lease at 75%. So, yeah, okay, compromise. I'll move that one. I was kind of on the fence as to whether I want to put it on the charger, but I figured on these downstairs chargers, that one could actually finish and get up to 90% where it belongs. The other one that he popped the lid on was a Chevy Bolt, and it was at less than 50%. So I just put the trunk lid back down, plugged it back in. It might annoy him later. We might try to have a conversation about it. That's going to run into a language barrier. But I figured that was a pretty good sign that I should get back in my lane, because from 5 p.m. on, I am the only one who mans the gatekeeper line. So I'm the gatekeeper. Once again, looking for my key master. Yeah. There's cars in the gatekeeper, and I'm going to clear them off. So I'm definitely having an interesting day at work today. Just cleared off the gatekeeper line. after deciding that I didn't want to have another awkward conversation with Towelhead.
They have Wi-Fi then, because I think it's scrap. They'll put it in back.
It's on one of the
give you
comedy
fucking
channels.
receipt. I'm on the air buying everybody drinks on the plane. Give that chicken. Give the pilot, give them all a drink. Give them all fucking drinks. Drinks around the house. Go home and get your fucking shine box.
I have no idea who this comedian is, but where the title would be if it was a song playing, it says "Go fuck yourself." That's awesome. Anyway, I'm gonna turn it down because I'm talking to myself. I don't need any additional entertainment in here. Fan is just where I like it, and seat about where I like it. I don't want to get further back. Man, I just moved one of those Mustangs. It wasn't a convertible. It wasn't a Shelby, but still a newer Ford Mustang. And even taking the seat all the way to the furthest back position, I still have my legs cramped more than I like them. And if that's not confirmation that those vehicles are designed for men who are compensated for short man's disease, I don't know what is. Found a holster in a car. That was interesting. And as I was moving the last car, I just finished moving the last car out of the gatekeeper line. It was I forget what kind of vehicle it was, but it had some body damage on the hood, so I was put in the body damage area. And I decided I would take that holster and just put it in my car, so I wasn't carrying it around with me. And saw a mechanic walking back to the shop. Was putting a car into a line. I knew he'd be walking back to the shop. Either that or moving it to the shop. I actually didn't think he'd be moving to the shop. But anyway, so I showed it to him and commented about it. We ended up having a couple of short but very interesting conversations about guns and rental cars. Actually, the first conversation wasn't really about guns and rental cars, but it was about what kind of a holster that was. And I don't know, just sometimes I can just look at somebody and tell that guy's probably a gun nut. And he totally was. He's like, oh yeah, it's for a Glock. And he told me specifically what kind of Glocks it's for. He's like, you got one? And I'm like, well, no. I said, I don't have any guns, but I've got friends that do. Be interested in it. And then after I had the conversation, it occurred to me that, this guy works here. He's into guns that much. Shit, I can give it to him. And as I told him that I thought initially it was a part that had fallen off from the interior of the car, because that happens. Like the little clips that hold the glasses in cars and whatnot, they'll fall off. And generally, I put it on the dashboard. That way, whatever mechanic moves it can see it and try to fix it or whatever. Anyway, I thought I'd operate at him. He's like, oh no, I don't have any Glocks. I have blah, blah, blah. He rattles off a list of the guns he has. Which is, it's always fun to talk to somebody that's that much of a gun nut. It's bad as me talking about my scooters or my various AV components or whatever. I have to explain more about the gun nut, but yeah, I gotta get this car keyed in. Can't be wasting too much time up here.